It's the Ross Tucker Football Podcast.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It is a Finish Strong Friday, presented, of course, by DraftKings. Those of you that check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL, you can see that I'm not home in Pennsylvania, coming to you live, kind of, from Boca Raton, Florida. I've got UAB at FAU Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS Sports Network. Love those of you that take a screenshot of your boy and tweet it at me. It's just fun to see what I look like on TV, to be honest with you. And then also I like to retweet it. And so it's like an automatic retweet. If you get a chance to check it out at all, right at 7 is when I'll actually be on your screen. And after that, it's just the game for the most part. Spread the word, winner. Hey, we got winners, Bri.
I want winners. I want people that want to win.
So I want people like Matthew McCool. Really simple. Matthew liked one of the posts from @RossTuckerPod on Instagram. I told you how you'd win. Matthew did it. Congratulations, Matthew. It's that easy to do. The sponsor confirmation email winner, Tommy Kraft. What an awesome name. Tommy sent me a picture of him drinking a Labatt Blue and having a 30-pack of Labatt Blue. I love it. I love when I ask and you guys do it. You know what I mean? Like it's there's something to that in life, right? Like ask and you shall receive, and then you get to win. So both of you guys, let me know if you'd rather have a press pass or signed card or picture. You always have to send me your address, by the way. And I got a lot of good press passes, so I'm going to send you a cool press pass. If you have a team or two that you'd prefer, let me know, and then I can try to get you something from that team if I have it. YouTube shout out, Josh Partika, youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. That's a pretty easy contest. You just hit the thumbs up to subscribe, which basically means nothing. And then you comment on any of the videos. I see them, and then you win. It's pretty easy. And now I'll do a video shout out. If you'd prefer a signed press pass, you can get that too. But a video shout out like I do for people on Cameo is pretty cool. So let me know what you want to shout out for, Josh, or if you'd rather have something signed, that's cool too. We still get new patrons every day, patreon.com/RT Media. I think a lot of people want to see the even money bets in black and white from grades. I don't blame you. It's much easier than trying to write them down while you're listening to the show. Adam Ballister from the family Ballister. He gets the shout out of the day for the patron. It's big show time.
The Big Show.
Last night, Thursday night football goes to the Ravens. They get the win on the road, 27-22 in Tampa. Bucks now fall to 3-5.
Unreal. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought the Tampa Bay Bucks would be 3-5? And really, it's the games against the Steelers and the Panthers that are especially stunning. It's not the worst thing in the world to lose 27-22 to the Ravens. It's the worst thing in the world to get smoked, really handled by both the Steelers and the Panthers. Strange game, by the way, Brian. I mean, the Bucks muffed the punt inside the 10 to start the game, but the Ravens had to settle for a field goal. For some reason, the whole first half, all the Ravens did was throw the ball. I think it was like 32 passes maybe and 7 runs. I have no idea why they did that. After the Bucks muffed the punt, it's 3-0 Ravens. The Bucks had an awesome drive. Some runs with Fournette. They were running the ball well. Brady was passing pretty well. It's a touchdown. And I'm like, okay, here they come. Now we're seeing what we got. Now, this is the Bucks we expected to see. They figured it out. Even the second drive was pretty good for the Bucks. As they moved the ball down the field, they got a field goal. And it's, okay, 2 for 2 scoring drives for the Bucks. They felt pretty good. That was it, by the way, for scoring in the first half. That was it. Because the Ravens just kept throwing it and not having a ton of success. And the Bucks couldn't do anything. Like, it was like 3-and-out city after that. Then the second half, the Ravens finally went to the ground game, and they just grinded the Bucs. I mean, they wore down the Bucs defense. I forget how many plays there was, but you look at time of possession and the number of plays, the Ravens had the ball so much more than the Bucs did. All those 3 and outs really wore on the Bucs, and this game was not good from an injury standpoint. Shaq Barrett apparently tore his Achilles and is out for the year. They're going to have an MRI to check that, but they usually know that, as Dr. Chow and Sports Injury Central .com would say. They usually know the Achilles ahead of time. And then all these guys that were questionable for the Ravens coming into the game, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, Gus Edwards, they all got hurt again. I mean, they all got hurt again and didn't finish the game. As I mentioned, the Ravens started to lean on the running game. I thought it was interesting how the broadcast featured Devin White playing terrible. I mean, Devin White really did not play well for the Bucs, hasn't played well all season. Isaiah Likely, the rookie tight end from Coastal Carolina, was awesome. He was awesome. He had a great game for the Ravens, especially after Edwards went down, had a touchdown, had, I think, 6 catches on 7 targets. He ended up being one of the stars of the night for the Ravens. That and just the run game, and Devin Duvernay, who's been a heck of a find this year for the Ravens. As for the Bucs, Brady was consistently missing throws and not on the same page as his receivers. The Ravens dropped a lot of picks that could have been interceptions against Brady. He became the most sacked quarterback of all time, so he's got that record as well. I guess if you play as long as he has or as much as he has, you're probably going to have every record. But maybe they can turn it around, especially in that division. But it feels like this is the end for Brady, and I'm kind of sad about it, to be honest with you. I don't like that he's going out like this. Mike Evans, he did throw a nice bomb to Mike Evans, which led to a field goal. It was 17-13, but they just couldn't stop him. They could not stop the Ravens after that. Thankfully, for my teaser on the Even Money podcast, Brady did lead a late touchdown drive, but ultimately too little, too late. Speaking of too little, too late, by the way, do not have your loved ones say that about you for the holidays. Uncommon Goods makes it easy to find remarkable and truly original gifts for anyone. Mom, dad, spouse, kids, in-laws, friends. Uncommon Goods wants your holiday season to be stress-free. So check out their selection of thousands of items today. They've got so many cool gifts. I like some of their classes. Like, I would like to take a bartending class, or a mixology class. I am more into experiences than I am items, but they have cool items too for like jewelry or stuff for your house or your home bar. It's really cool, really cool. They actually donated more than $2.5 million because they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice with every purchase, which is kind of cool. They don't have to do that. It's probably not why you're doing it. I love that. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/Tucker. That's uncommongoods.com/Tucker for 15% off. Do not miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary.
Tuck's Takes.
Before we get to the picks, a couple of news items that we should get to. We'll start in Kansas City and Cincinnati. Chiefs traded for Giants wide receiver Kadarius Toney, and the Bengals are going to be without wide receiver Jamar Chase for about 4 to 6 weeks.
Thought that was really interesting. Both of them, right? Chase has played the last couple games, and Chase has played well. And now all of a sudden, he's going to be unavailable. That's not good. I mean, he is the star of their offense. So to not have him is a major, major issue if that ends up being the case for 4 to 6 weeks. boy, it certainly feels like it makes it a lot less likely that the Ravens end up winning that division in my mind, right? Because now you're going to have Chase without him for like the meat of the season. And he's the guy that dictates coverage and all that stuff. So that's a pretty big loss for the Bengals. And then the Chiefs getting Tony is really interesting. And Tony tweeted something because people are like, well, good luck. He's never healthy. And then he tweeted, he tweeted like, haha, joke's on you. I am healthy, or something like that, which I thought was a little bit bizarre. And I kind of need some more information from him on that. I'm not exactly sure what the deal is there. But I guess Tony's healthy. I don't know why he hasn't been playing for the Giants, but he says that he's healthy. So, yeah, I guess he is. So 3rd and 6th round picks, I mean, if anybody can make it work, you'd have to think it's Andy Reid and Mahomes, and they have experience with like a talented but maybe mercurial is the word, receiver, like they just had in Tyreek Hill. So you never know. We'll see though. 3rd and 6th round pick, they're going to use him if they gave up that much for him. They just like having. It's like the Joker, right? In Batman, where does he get all these wonderful toys? Then you got McCole Hardman, Kadarius Toney. Good luck. Speaking of mercurial wide receivers, Larry Fitzgerald was not one. Larry Fitzgerald is proof that you don't have to be like that. And every Monday on Let's Go, a Sirius XM podcast, Larry and Tom Brady and Emmy award-winning journalist Jim Gray, you can hear championship perspective on the trending topics on and off the football field. It's pretty cool, right? It's like the only place you can hear Brady, the only place you can hear Larry Fitzgerald at the microphone, unfiltered, every week. It's on Let's Go. Plus, all season long on Let's Go, they have awesome guests in the podcast world. Oprah, Snoop Dogg, NFL stars. Listen to Let's Go with Tom Brady, Larry Fitzgerald, and Jim Gray every Monday night through the 2022-2023 football season on Stitcher, Pandora, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Single game on Sunday? Then listen up.
Let's start with the Denver Broncos at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, it appears as if Russell Wilson's going to play. I mean, how weird is it that I don't even know if that's good or not? I mean, think about that. Russell Wilson's going to play, and I'm not quite sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing for the Denver Broncos. We live in some bizarre times right now, dudes. I'm going to go with the Jaguars. They're more used to playing in London. They've been right there. They've moved the ball. They've just had untimely turnovers and bogged down in the red zone. The Broncos defense is pretty awesome, though. I don't know. And the Jags defense hasn't been quite as good. I'm going to go 17-13 Jags. I'm not going to expect the Broncos to score very many points. 17-13 Jags.
Carolina Panthers, Atlanta Falcons.
This game, Bri, is for first place in the NFC South. I mean, a lot of people thought that they'd be 2 of the 5 worst teams in the NFL. And by the way, they still might be. And the winner is going to be atop the division. I'll go Falcons. I like what the Panthers did last week to the Bucs. And you wonder if those guys are playing for Steve Wilks. They like Steve Wilks. Maybe they want Steve Wilks to get the job. But I'll go with the Falcons at home. Close game, though. Fun game. 23-20 Falcons in a fun game.
Chicago Bears, Dallas Cowboys.
This game I'm really looking forward to because I'm curious to see if I'm expecting the Cowboys. I don't know if Zeke's going to play, but I'm expecting the Cowboys to continue to run the ball and play, I don't know, somewhat conservative because they know how good their defense is, even though it's Dak and not Cooper Rush. We'll see. But Chicago, I am surprised they're as big of an underdog as they are. They played really well Monday night against the Patriots. Obviously, the folks at DraftKings that set the lines don't think that they're going to be able to sustain that. I think they are. I think this is going to be a good game. Maybe the thought process is the Cowboys will be more ready for the design quarterback runs that the Bears did Monday night that the Patriots weren't ready for. I guess I could see that argument, perhaps. But I still think it'll be a close game. I think the Bears got confidence, and that's what they needed. And I think Fields knows he needs to run, especially when Micah and the boys are coming. I think it's probably something like 24-20. Cowboys win a closer game than the experts think.
Miami Dolphins at the Detroit Lions.
Miami Dolphins in Detroit. I've gone back and forth on this one. I think DeAndre Swift's going to play. I think that makes a big difference. Maybe it was just Tua's first game back, but I didn't think he looked that great in that game. I'm going with the upset, Bri. I call it a gut feeling. I don't know. I feel like the Lions did some really good things against the Cowboys, obviously just going out the 1-inch line and then fumbling. Not real good at all for the Lions. I think they win the game. I think this is one of the stunners of the week. I'm picking the upset for the Detroit Lions, and I think it's going to be 24-23. The Lions finally win a close game.
Ross's Underdog of the Week.
Our next game, the Arizona Cardinals and Minnesota Vikings.
The Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are at home, coming off a bye. I like them. Now, I do think it'll be interesting. Sometimes teams come off a bye and they don't play quite as well. And the Arizona Cardinals got a little bit of their mojo back, I felt like, against the Saints last Thursday night. Although, I don't know, the 2 pick sixes really helped. They probably would have lost the game without those 2 pick sixes, but they got them. They count. I'll take the Vikings, though, at home. I have more faith in their consistency than I do in the Cardinals. Feels like a higher scoring game. Feels like close game. I'll go 28-27. Vikings beat the Cardinals 28-27.
Raiders and the Saints.
Raiders and the Saints. So evidently money has come in on the Saints because the Raiders were favored by 2. Now they're only favored by 1. For those of you that care about those things, I think the Raiders are the better team. Andy Dalton starting again for the Saints. I'm thoroughly confused by the Saints. I mean, they made a bunch of aggressive moves with Jarvis Landry and Tyrann Mathieu this offseason, presumably because they had faith in Jameis Winston, but then it felt like Jameis only played, how many games did he even play? 2 or 3? And they're not giving him a chance again? I don't really quite get it. The Raiders, with the way they're running the ball with Josh Jacobs, I'll be taking the Raiders in a lot of football games if they can continue this. 24-17. How about that? 24-17 Raiders.
New England Patriots and the New York Jets.
Actually, more like 24-23 Raiders now that I think about it. Saints offense, Andy Dalton still is moving the ball. I like the Patriots quite a bit in this game. No Elijah Vera Tucker hurts. No Breece Hall hurts quite a bit. And I think the Patriots bounce back from that debacle Monday night against the Bears. That was putrid. Looks like Mac Jones will start for the Patriots. Not much of a surprise there. Give me New England. And I'm not sure it's close. New England might be able to pull away in this one. I'll take New England to win the game. Jets defense has been pretty good, though. I'll take New England 23-13. I just don't think the Jets do much offensively at all. 23-13. Patriots win by 10.
Pittsburgh Steelers at the Philadelphia Eagles.
So I'm going to be there, bro. I don't know if I told you this or told the listeners this, but I, typically I do the pregame show from remotely from home now, but I'm landing Sunday morning because my game is Saturday night for CBS. So I'll go right over to the stadium and do my hour of pregame show, and then I'll actually tailgate a little bit and go to the game with my wife, which should be enjoyable. We don't get to do that very often. And then heading down, then we'll enjoy that. Be awesome. So I like the Eagles to win the game. Now, the Steelers' defense has been better. Steelers been competitive the last couple of weeks against the Dolphins, against the Bucks. And you never know, like I said about the Vikings, you never know how the Eagles are going to come out of the bye. They might be rusty, they might be sluggish, or they might be refreshed. At any rate, I'll take the Eagles to win. Feels like 23-13. It would be tough. Maybe 23, no, maybe 20-13. It's hard for me to imagine them losing, though, Bri. That'd be a bad loss. You can lock them up.
Your survivor / knockout / whatever you call it, pick of the week.
Moving on to the Titans at the Texans.
So I should have mentioned this earlier, Bri, but I like to look at this, as you know, to see how much it would be. So if you wanted to go to the Eagles-Steelers game, the Battle of Pennsylvania, it's funny because I know a bunch of people that are going to be at the game. You can go right now for $231 on the Game Time app, which tells you that the Eagles are still a pretty darn popular ticket right now, even with all the fandom for the Astros and the Phillies. Interesting that the Game 3 price for Astros-Phillies has come down quite a bit. You can now get in for $683. It was $1,100 last week. $1,100. So that's why you got to get the Game Time app on your phone. It's the fastest growing ticketing app because it guarantees the lowest price on tickets to all your favorite sports, concerts, shows. I like that you can check out in 30 minutes or 30 seconds, I should say, which is nice. Do what I did. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and then if you redeem code Ross, you get $20 off your first purchase. So it's already guaranteed lowest price ticket, and then you get $20 off when you use the code Ross, which is really pretty cool. So love it. Love the Game Time app. We got Texans, Titans, Bri?
Correct.
Titans, although I think this is a unique spot for them. I think, they've been winning these close games. They've been gutting them out. Texans have been playing a little bit better. Ultimately, it feels like it's a close game, right? And in a close game late, it's kind of hard to imagine the Texans beating the Titans. Vrabel's team is just so well coached, and they just live for those close games, and they win, quite frankly, more than their fair share. And the Texans probably lose more than their fair share of close games. So I'll take the Titans to win close to the vest game. 17-16. How about that? I'm going really low scoring. 17-16. Titans win.
Washington Commanders at the Indianapolis Colts.
Sam Ellinger, Taylor Heineke, like we all expected. I think the Colts win the game. They get a little boost from Sam Ellinger's legs. I don't think the Commanders are going to be, they probably know there's going to be some design runs, but they're not quite sure what they're going to look like. It is interesting, though. It almost feels like the Colts could have really helped themselves win the game by not announcing that Ellinger was going to start. They could have kept that to themselves for a competitive advantage and then really stunned the Commanders when Ellinger comes out starting instead of Matt Ryan. Not sure why they didn't do that. Let's see if Heineke can keep the momentum going. All he does is just find a way to help the team win. A lot of times it seems like. The Colts, though, will win this one, in my mind, 23-17, Indy.
San Francisco at the LA Rams.
Huge game for these two teams. I mean, just massive game. I like the Niners. I know the Rams are coming off the bye, but the Rams kind of have to prove to me coming off the bye that they've fixed their O-line issues and some of the other issues they were having. Whereas the Niners, I feel like with more time to get Christian McCaffrey up to speed, I think Kyle Shanahan's going to have some tricks up his sleeve. They're going to be very, very difficult for the Rams to handle. So give me Shanahan, McCaffrey, and the Niners to get this done on the road in a critical game for these two teams. Fun game, 24-23 Niners.
New York Giants at the Seattle Seahawks.
You'll be there, right, Bri?
I will be.
Seattle typically has really good press box food.
Yes, I will give a full report on Monday morning.
Yeah, really good. You know, I'm going to go with the Seahawks. Giants just played down in Jacksonville. Now they're playing out in Seattle. Feels like they've won more than their fair share of close games. Seahawks playing really well right now. The Giants win this one, man. They are just on a roll, and I'll stop picking against them. But I don't know. I think this is kind of the Seahawks' time to get it done. Giants defense has been good, though. So I think this is like 23-20 Seahawks, somewhere in that range. Good game.
Sunday Night Football, Green Bay Packers and the Buffalo Bills.
The Packers are 11-point underdogs with two back-to-back MVP quarterback Aaron Rodgers. That's unbelievable. What else is unbelievable is how many Bills fans are going to get there crazy early. I wonder when they open up the parking lots for a Sunday night game and just crushing Labatt Blue Light because it's so delicious. It was meant for tailgating. There's no better way to watch your team on game day than with the pristine, I love that word, by the way, pristine Canadian goodness. I like goodness too, of a cold Labatt Blue Light in your hand. Stock up, be the MVP of your tailgate. If you see me walking around with the Eagles tailgate, make sure you got a Labatt Blue ready for me. Share a Labatt on game day with your crew. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. As for the game, Bri, I, of course, like the Bills. You know, the Packers are kind of in the same category as the Bucks and some of these other teams where it's like, I got to see it now, bro. Like, I got to see it before I believe in you. You've lost 3 straight games, like both those teams. They've lost the benefit of the doubt. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers have now lost the benefit of the doubt in my mind for this season. Bills coming off a bye. That place is going to be electric. If this was some other team, maybe there'd be a letdown, but it's the Packers. And there's not going to be a letdown, I don't think, against the Packers because it's the Packers. Buffalo, big. I think the Packers might get embarrassed. 31-17. Bills win by double digits. Amazing that it feels like you could lock up the Buffalo Bills, Bri.
Your survivor / knockout / whatever you call it, pick of the week.
Final game of the week, Monday Night Football, the Cincinnati Bengals at the Cleveland Browns.
You know, it's interesting. I can't remember what the betting line at DraftKings was, but the Bengals are still favored by 3 on the road without Jamar Chase. That kind of surprises me a little bit. I kind of feel like the Browns are going to win the game with no Chase. And I know the Browns haven't been great, but Monday night, crowd will be going crazy. I think they'll run it well. I think Burrow will be a little bit different without his binky, Jamar. So I'm going to take the Browns in an upset, Bri. Let's go Cleveland. Cleveland rocks on Monday night. 23-20. The Browns get the upset.
Ross's Underdog of the Week.
Who let the dogs out?
I let the dogs out. because they're the Browns. I think they're going to win. A couple upsets that I had there, huh? The Jags, and was the Jags even an upset? No. The Browns. Shout outs, by the way, Pizza Boy Brewing, Sporticulture, HumanHeadNYC.com, SteakhouseSports.com, Go-Bengals.com, probably not real happy with me, Evergreen Economics, Vision Comics with an X, BackOfficeScheduler.com, and the gift that you should get any loved one for the holidays. I'm telling you, it's so money, it's not even funny. MyFrontPageStory.com. Other than that, have an awesome football viewing weekend. I think we're done here.
Thanks for listening to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also subscribe to the Fantasy Feast, Even Money, Business of Sports, and College Draft. All available at Apple Podcasts, rosstucker.com, or wherever podcasts can be found.